Hey everyone, thanks for tuning in today. I wanted to do a couple of easy tutorial today using some of our pattern vinyl. This is our unicorn paint pattern here. It's available at pattern651.com. I was over at the Dollar Tree today and I found these cool little wooden cutouts. And a lot of times, questions that I get is like, hey, what can I use these pattern for if I don't have a silhouette cutter or a Cricut? Can I still use your product? Well, you certainly can. So today we're going to be doing a Dollar Tree craft, and we're only going to be using our vinyl sheet, a heat gun, an X-Acto, and our squeegee. So let's get this thing going. So what I found on these, they had a couple of different shapes. I found this cool looking unicorn, and this pattern we have on our website is called Unicorn Paint. So I thought we'd pair them up together and see what we come up with. So the first thing I'm going to do on here is I'm going to make sure that this is nice and smooth. I'm going to take my vinyl pattern, kind of place it where I want it to be, so I can kind of get an idea of what the design is going to look like. Once you find what you like, just go ahead and trim around that. And then you can just kind of save your scrap for another project. If you're like me, like for some reason I just can't throw scrap away. I have like tons of scrap every time, and it could be the smallest piece. And I'm like, oh man, I might be able to use that later on. So I go ahead and hang on to it, and it ends up in a mega pile. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to go ahead and peel my backing off. This material is called, it's made by Oracal. It's Origent material. It's their printable material. You can print an actual 651, but the white is a little bit brighter on this material because this one's actually made for printing, so that's why we use that. If you ever decided that you wanted something printed on actual 651, make sure you shoot us a message and we'll certainly do that for you. So I'm going to go ahead and put this down on my unicorn, just nice and easy like this. As long as you don't press down on it, you can kind of reposition it a little bit. So I go ahead, I kind of like that right there where it's at. So I'm going to take my squeegee. One of the things you want to do, you don't want to just squeegee on it right away, because if you have little burrs on your squeegee, you can scratch your vinyl. You could either use a Teflon sheet and squeegee on top of that from the center out. If you don't have one, just save your backing sheet, put the paper side down so that you can squeegee on this smooth silicone sheet. Once you start squeegeeing like this from the inside out, you're going to notice that you can kind of see the shape of the unicorn as I'm pressing this down on here. So I'm going to kind of move this around. So once I got it on there, I'm going to just slowly lift this up. So this is what the back looks like now here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take it and I'm going to just start it in the corner and start bringing it to the edges like this. So if you notice here, it doesn't want to bend so much because of the tension. Just take a little scissors and kind of just snip it like this. And that's going to allow you to keep allowing nice even pressure right along the edge like that. So you notice here it has no give to it. Just cut a little piece in there. And then you can keep that going. That also works if you're ever doing like large decals or signs or something like that. You kind of just work with the material a little bit. Don't force it, and just take your time with it. It's not a big race, and having fun doing it. So I'm going to go ahead and trim off some of this extra. There we go. That's looking pretty good right there. So I'm going to kind of just start wrapping it around. I'm not going to go all the way around because I'm going to take my X-Acto and I'm going to trim just right along the edge like that. You can fold it back if you want to like this, but for this case, I'm going to just go along the edge. You want to make sure you got a good sharp blade, and then just bring it just like that. Once you bring it down, you're going to just bring it along the edge and just trim it. You want to be careful that you don't cut too much into the wood, because you can easily do that. And then kind of just work it like that. So normally people use this stuff with their silhouette cameos or their Cricuts and stuff like that, but those are cool to have. But if you don't have it, you can certainly still use a lot of these patterns. So as you can see, as I'm trimming this along, it's coming out really nicely. So some of the things you can do is you take your vinyl and just kind of just stretch it a little bit as you're coming along. It's going to help you find that edge right on there like that. And you don't want to stretch it too much because you don't want to tear it. But once you do that, it will really help you find that edge. And you can almost just tear it off a little bit at a time like that. That way once you do that, then you can just kind of trim it. And I kind of just take it like this. Just make sure you cut away from yourself. You don't want to cut towards you, you want to keep it away. I guess you'll only do that one time. There we go. Now another thing you can do is you can take a heat gun like this and give it a little bit of heat. It doesn't take a lot, but what that's going to do is it's going to soften it, as you can see here. And then you can just easily stretch it like that. That's going to be for like these hard areas. You can just warm it up, and you notice it'll kind of bounce like that a little bit, just like that. And kind of just hold it a little bit, and that's going to help retain the shape of it. As it cools off, it's going to kind of maintain the shape. If I give this some more heat, it's going to bring it right back. So now that I've done that, I'm going to go ahead and trim this off, and I should be able to bring it back down like this. Trim this off. And just start bringing the edges down. So you can see here, it looks cool wrapped around like this, but I'm going to go ahead and trim that off. And then I'm not exactly sure how I'm going to mount this. I think I'm going to just put some double stick tape on it, and then just stick it on the wall or something. There we go. If you look around at a lot of places like Dollar Tree, you find some cool stuff in there sometimes that you can kind of repurpose. Like I got these candles right here. But you'll find some of the things in our shop is we make this translucent vinyl, and it works real good for making candles and stuff like that too. If you look under the drop down menu and you see an item that says translucent, that's what it is. It's our see-through vinyl. Now this vinyl has a gray backing, and what that helps is it helps block whatever the surface you're putting it on, you know, so that the color stays consistent throughout your whole design. And we should be good to go. I think I might put some double stick tape on this. Maybe put it on, add my daughter's name, put it on her door or something like that. Be cool with that. But if you go to Dollar Tree, you find all kinds of stuff in there that you can repurpose. You get a little corner, you can use your squeegee and just apply it right in there like that. Let's go ahead and wrap this up here for you. If you like these videos, you want to see some more of them, make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. That way you can get a notification when I post a new video. We're going to be putting a lot of videos up here, get this thing off the ground. So there you go. We have our Dollar Tree craft with our pattern vinyl. We use a silhouette or a cricket. We just used our kind of a small little wrapping technique, and it's a fun thing to do. So thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe button, and we'll see you next time.